As the mind is allowed to remain calm, a natural way of being, ideal opportunities, which were always there, are revealed and automatically move forward with in relation to our vision. This is what I found over the years as a result of applying what we discuss here. Everything happens automatically. So there's a mental state called mushin. It is a Japanese Zen expression meaning mind without mind, or we could say fluidity of mind, not rigidly attached to any thought or emotion, and thus open for whatever ideal possibility may show up in the moment. Now, this is very powerful for the entrepreneur, artist, athlete, performer, and day-to-day life in general. I found that it is cultivated while in regular moments of deep stages of flow, which we call autotelic, where one completely surrenders to the moment of creative expression. So let's discuss this further, and I trust it'll be very beneficial for you as it has been for me. So this conversation was inspired by a clip I came across last week, a Bruce Lee clip, who, by the way, had a definite chief aim that he put together, which looks exactly like the formula from Think and Grow Rich. I have it right here on my desk. Let's actually read a part of it. Apparently, he wrote it in 1969, and you can find a copy of it online if you do a quick search. He says, "Starting 1970, I will achieve world fame, and from then onwards, till the end of 1980, I will have in my possession $10 million. I will live the way I please and achieve inner harmony and happiness." So I love how he made it all harmoniously related, like we discussed in my vision video, which I released a few weeks ago. I'll put a link in the description to it for you. So in the video clip I saw of him, he said, "There is no opponent because the word I does not exist." Now we've been discussing the formless self, I, which is awareness beyond any thought, emotion, or behavior identification of ourselves, others, or anything in this world. This is the I he is referring to. It's actually space or awareness, space before the thought. He says I does not exist as the moment he may associate to having an opponent, he may start to think, emotionally relate, and behave in a way that could result in overthinking. What he's looking to experience during his event is mushin, automatic surrender to the vision. And he has a vision. He knows where he is going subconsciously, which he allows the ways of the subconscious to express it by how he moves. Now, this may seem like an interesting conceptual idea. However, as we live in flow, we understand exactly what he means intuitively. This is an experiential understanding, one that is felt deeply as we experience it. In mushin, one completely releases all conscious thought or effort and yields instantly to the moment. They are ready for whatever shows up because they released any conscious thought identification in mind and allow their subconscious to take care of everything beyond conscious thought in the moment of the performance. So in the book Zen in the Martial Arts, it is mentioned that Bruce Lee shared the following with the author, attributed to the legendary master Taekwondo Soho. It states, "The mind must always be in the state of flowing, for if it stops anywhere, that means the flow is interrupted, and it is this interruption that is injurious to the well-being of the mind. When the swordsman stands against his opponent, He is not to think of the opponent, nor himself, nor the sword movements. He just stands there with his sword, which, regardless of all technique, is ready only to follow the dictates of the subconscious. When he strikes, it is not the man but the sword in the hand of the man's subconscious that strikes. So it is the subconscious that does everything for you. We allow it to happen in the moment of the creative initiative or performance. The conscious mind in this moment is free from thought of doubt, no thought of persona, condemnation either. Decisions are made automatically and one operates from their intuition. Now, I like what William Walker Atkinson described in his wonderful book, The Inner Consciousness, A Course of Lessons on the Inner Planes of the Mind, Intuition, Instinct, Automatic Mentation, and other wonderful phases of mental phenomena. He says, in the region of the higher planes of the inner consciousness are to be found that wonderful aspect or phase of mind which we call intuition, which Webster defines as direct apprehension or cognition, immediate knowledge as in perception or consciousness involving no reasoning process. It is a higher form of that which we know as instinct, the distinction being chiefly that instinct belongs to the phenomena of the below conscious planes, while intuition belongs to the above conscious planes, and has to do with the higher part of the nature of the individual. Instinct sends its message up to the intellect, while intuition sends its message down to the intellect. Many of the highest forms of pleasurable things come from the regions of intuition. Art, music, poetry, the higher forms of love, intuitive perception of truth. All of these come from above, from the region of intuition. So we want to allow intuition to flow automatically into our creative expressions. For example, when I put together these videos, I completely release from opinions, doubts, overthinking, and allow my subconscious mind to move every part of my being to make them happen. And we can apply this everywhere we go. In conversations with others, for example, I release all agenda and go by how I feel. When I snowboard, I enjoy the flow of the experience as my proficiency increases with each run. And you also have the inherent ability to do the same. So again, in mushin, the conscious mind is very subtle, present enough and called upon as needed. However, we are mostly subconscious. While still being alert and aware, mind and body are felt as one. At this point, one allows what is felt intuitively to automatically express the next move. Present to the moment while also highly aware of the nuances of one's performance and environment without overthinking. If one seems to step out of their flow in the moment, they quickly recalibrate accordingly. They also find that they're able to sense if they're about to step out of their flow and adjust accordingly and remain in their flow. Powerful stuff, and I'd like this to be your experience as well. Now, I recommend the video I released a few weeks ago on flow state. I'll put a link in the description to it. Further dimensionalizes what we're discussing here. So in the book Flow by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, he discusses bringing ourselves into autotelic, an experience for me which feels like being one with all. So let's apply this to your initiatives. Number one, we have a clear vision. We know what we want. For example, painting a picture. We may have an idea of what we want to paint, or even not. We do know that what we want is to paint. At the moment, we release doubt, thought, identification as we apply the first step, perhaps putting up the canvas, and trust that you'll have something wonderful upon completion. This is actually a conscious self-suggestion, and we feel it. Feeling is the secret. Number 2, as we continue, we experience immediate reporting and feedback. So as we continue along, we find that we are further releasing thought identification to doubt, and our mind has become more open and receptive to ideas. Inspiration flashes upon your mind's eye, and you move forward as you paint. You become integrated physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually with the experience, and you may start to feel the hints of bliss as you go about. Number 3, you find a nice harmony between challenge and skill. Inspired by the challenge, like a child with a puzzle perhaps, maybe you encounter a new challenge with technique. However, becoming childlike again, trying things out, nothing wrong with that. The conscious and the subconscious are harmonizing like two kids in a playground. You observe something is taking form, and you're curious and perhaps even excited to see what happens. In the background, you're cultivating your skill, and you're enjoying what you do. You experience a lateral, harmonious approach. So we have divergent and convergent, and we have lateral. Divergence is seeing and feeling many possibilities. Convergent, sequencing them into expression. They harmonize as lateral experience, one of both endless possibilities and creative expression on the canvas. And so now we have number 4. Actions and awareness become one. Your hand seems to move naturally and effortlessly. You have yielded completely to the power of your subconscious, as William Walker Atkinson articulated so well in his chapter, The Unseen Hand. He says, I have learned to love this hand, and the owner of this hand seems to feel and return this love, and now and then, by a sympathetic little clasp, lets me know that I am understood. This hand sometimes seems to be that of a father. Again, it seems to be that of a mother. Again, it seems as the hand of one who loves me, neither leading nor being led, just moving on clasped in mine. No words, but with a perfect understanding. The owner of this hand seems to combine within itself with all the attributes of father, mother, lover, brother, and sister. It seems to respond to the human need in every direction. It seems always as the hand of love. So again, it's felt. You feel it in the moment. Then like magic, because it really is. Number 5, we are free from distractions, fears, doubts, and indecision. They no longer exist in mind. Reality is experienced as moldable. Synchronicities, perhaps, all around you, wherever you look. People may show up unexpectedly, join in on the dance. You have now become autotelic, and as this experience continues, perhaps time distortion, what seemed like 20 minutes upon looking at the time was 2 hours, and now your art is complete. And you may notice, as I do, that I have transformed, and the art represented my own psychology, a symbol of my own transformation. For every inward transformation, the outer world reflects as creative expression to reflect the changes that took place within. So we see then each day when we practice our craft, we transform. And also during the day of your performance, whatever that may be, the presentation to the investors, the speech in front of the audience, the dance on the stage which you perform. It's all done from the state of mushin. And so allow your mind to remain on what you love. It is a natural way of being. It is what you genuinely want anyways. And experience what is being discussed here. This conversation may sound theoretical. However, applying it, we experience, we understand it experientially. And I believe you've experienced this before. What I'm doing here is encouraging this more so. The journey is as rewarding as the destination, and there is one moment for it all, and that is now. Your world is what you're conscious of being now, and that which you commit to now expresses in your creative endeavors and upon reflection of you having become more of how you desire to be. As you continue to apply this, you'll also observe everything else in your life transforms as well to match. Personal life, relationships, friendships, environments, all change to reflect the inner changes as you go through this experience. Those things also, via the power of the subconscious mind, happen automatically. And again, by applying this, you'll know exactly what it is that I'm talking about. All these realizations here that are being discussed are what I have found to have happened naturally by allowing myself to be how I truly want to be. Because we know so much suffering is caused by denying our intuition and not allowing ourselves to be how we truly desire to be. So I trust you found this video to be helpful. Let's go ahead and conclude this with an auto-suggestion to further encourage. You can say, every moment as I show up and perform what I love, I allow it to further harmonize my inward relationship with my conscious and subconscious. As I experience this relationship harmonize through my creative expressions in active meditation, I yield completely and allow everything to happen naturally and effortlessly. Upon reflection, this has now become a way of life. Upon reflection, I realize this is always how I was, and thus I am perpetually conscious of being this way now, as the world rearranges and regenerates itself automatically via the power of my subconscious mind to reveal my ideal life now. If you would like a copy of this mind map, the link is in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.